Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, fellow TIs, local authority abusers, and your trolls, your haters, your snoops and stalkers in the targeting network here in Coventry in the UK. Just exposing what the local abusers authority and of the technical sophisticated advancements in surveillance monitoring and clinical close-up research studying sensory circuitry they have here in Coventry in the local infrastructure and on the threshold of non-mother's property, of brother's property and my property and many other targeted individuals, areas and properties, not only here in the UK but Europe and worldwide. So I'm just going to put a few clips together from various links which I'll put in the description box information, showing how emitting radiation is harmful to humans' health. And my family have been and still are being radiated in Coventry City to the second. And even when we've been going abroad. While the targeting network train their employees in the police, the medical NHS local hospital, in the healthcare sectors, who were led by evil psychiatrists who all do more harm to targeted individuals than ever helping them. So I'm just going to play clips of various links, starting off with Dr. Robert Duncan. A few months ago, many months ago, on a targeted individual Zoom conference meeting, there was a question and answer session. And I asked the question at the end of how do we stop the local abusers in the police, Private Detective Association and community members over in covert operators networking and passing on edited data of targeted individuals that they have been social engineering on, experimenting on, trying to induce and entrap them into reactions while emitting radiation around them, trying to induce symptoms, illnesses, disabilities, and looks that they're put into these profiles, and then tell lies to the people they're networking to that they're concerned about them, when they've gone out and called and try and induce it all.
I would love to see the data, but I just haven't, seen it, so I can't verify that fact. I can't verify that. But I do think they're looking for the extraordinary or the unordinary types of brains and people in order to control them, because those are the wild cards. Most humans, if you notice, are robots and zombies. They're very easily predictable. Oh, did I say that aloud? Sorry. So they're not worried about those kind of people. They're worried about the eccentrics, the exceptional, the creative minds, etc. They want to be able to control those because those are the people that eventually change the world outside of their plan.
Like we are.
Yeah. So I want to leave you on that positive note that you're special. You're all special. And that's why they're targeting you. And keep it up. Don't let them break you down. What more could you ask for? This is the greatest purpose one could have for their life, fighting for the very existence of what it means to be human. I think it's fantastic, even though it's painful and sucks in some ways. But most people die of an existence that they could, and they never had an adventure they could call their own. They never had a true purpose. They never had something, a calling that this is more important than myself. And so I congratulate you all for making the cut into the torture chamber.
Just one last question. Just one last question for the...
Right, as long as it's brief.
Yeah, just one last question, Dr. Duncan, for the international investigators. Surely the medical and the NHS healthcare industries involved, surely if we can stop them from getting data from the rogue operators and the corrupted racketeering intelligence agencies, if we can stop the medical and NHS healthcare industry sectors from getting data off whoever's network or giving them all the data, surely that will be able to stop them from targeting TRs to put into their institutions.
Yeah, I know. I see exactly your point. You're trying to cut them off.
Yeah.
The point of their value chain.
Yeah, third-party collaborators.
I'll tell you human nature. My experiences when I was working for DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, we would walk in. I'm a scientist. Walk into Massachusetts General Hospital with some brass with lots of metals on them and stuff, and say, give us your dementia patients for the Soldier 2000 project, and we'll dish out a bunch of money for you. No problem. And all the doctors were in on it. So I'm just saying, it's you're right, and we could stop that flow of data, but you're not going to be able to just due to the systems in place. Money talks.
Yeah, big pharma.
Thanks, Spencer.
This is the problem with low-frequency noise. It penetrates into the buildings. It penetrates the earth. And this is why it is a problem for human health. We all know about radiation. Usually the public is very aware of the radiation. We all know that in radiation there is a very small section where we can see. But then we have ultraviolets, and we have X-rays, and we have gamma rays, and these we do not see, but they can affect our health. This is the same in acoustics. In acoustics, we have audible sounds, and then we have infrasound. We also have ultrasound. I and my team, we study the low frequency, so that which is audible but barely, and also the infrasound. Please notice, I don't know if we have health scientists here. Please notice how difficult it is to study infrasound, because we put everything in one bag. Here we have ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, we section it. It allows us to study it better. But with acoustics, we have audible and infrasound. Big bag, no segmentation, which allows us to study the different frequencies on the different tissues. This is one of the main problems of studying the health effects of infrasound and low-frequency noise. Historically, we all know, since the time of the ancient Greeks, we all know that loud noise can make us deaf, can impair our hearing. So historically, we have tried to concentrate protection against noise in the area where we hear the best. So conversation area, which comes about to 500 hertz to about 10,000 hertz, this is where we concentrate all of the protection of noise hearing, or too much noise exposure. As you can see, the hearing is always what is protected. The body is not. It is assumed wrongly by many that if you don't hear it, it won't hurt you. Okay? Well, we don't see X-rays either, and it hurts us. So
if you're alone on an island, you could develop a real disease like cancer or heart disease, but you cannot develop a mental illness such as hyperactivity or schizophrenia. This is because mental illness is always diagnosed on the basis of some sort of social conflict. When people do something that others find objectionable, they can be diagnosed as mentally ill. If the person doing the diagnosing is more powerful than the person diagnosed, then there is trouble. In this sense, the diagnosis of mental illness is always a weapon. Not so when it comes to diagnosing real disease. Think of how, when people get angry with one another, they inevitably resort to some kind of diagnosis. They say, "You're crazy. You're mentally ill. You're paranoid." Can you imagine somebody getting angry with someone and saying, "You have diabetes. You have Parkinson's disease"?
And so with the infrasound ultrasounds, they're causing plenty of damage. And when they're doing the psyops on you, trying to get reactions off you, whether it's body language reactions, or whether they're looking at your facial expressions, or your eye looks, or your eye movements, that's all entrapment. Because they've weaponised their system and going out targeting in public and targeting in the privacy of people's homes. Otherwise, why are they surrounding them every day? Why are they using the technical, sophisticated technologies to spy on people, tracking, tracing them? And why, if they want to use all these technologies, when they know all these technologies are causing damage, not only to the infrastructure and the buildings and the properties in the area where they've got all these technologies, but also the members shooting straight through the infrastructure, concrete and metal, through people's properties, and damaging the human anatomy. Be it the radar beams, infrasound, ultrasound, radiation, whatever technology they're using, evil technologies, microwave beams, particle beams. Yeah, to spy on someone in their home and in public, it means they are radiating them, because all their apparatus, equipment, devices, weapons, cameras emit radiation. The longer that they prolong it for, overspend it all. I've mentioned before, there needs to be time limits on these evil council abusers and criminals. And it says if they're criminals, community members, they have to go to prison. They are for a very, very long time. You can't have community members or people volunteering to use this equipment on people in communities 24/7 and directing it all into their homes, whether they're sitting, whether they're sleeping, whether they're walking, tracking, tracing them for as long as they want, until they think that they have broken the targets down mentally and physically, or both. No way. They have to go to prison for a very long time for this. Whoever's doing it to TIs all over the world, taking the law into their own hands, or making loads of things up so they can get people on side. Compulsively lying about TIs. That's all TIs know. Whatever they're standardist with, whatever they've got on the computer systems in the police force, in the council sectors. On the psychiatrist's computer, on the social services computer, TIs would love to know what the data they have and what they have stated about us, for them to be so obsessed with us. And every TI has a right to see that data, to be able to defend themselves in normal open courts of law. Because otherwise, like I said, it's just all compulsive lies they've put on the computer systems and spreading around the community about TIs. Yeah, not via the implemented kangaroo court system, the family court protection. Because that's what the family court protection is. It's an implemented, corrupted, racketeering, targeting court system, where TIs and their family members, anyone who goes through them courts, put for them courts, because the TIs and the family members can't go to these courts, it's done behind closed doors, in the secrecy, cloak and dagger of the local establishment. Yeah, they are kangaroo courts. Yeah, and they need to be stopped. That's all part of the targeting system. The family court protection, where they get court orders on TIs, allowing them to suddenly come round to TIs' homes, or the family members' homes they're looking to detain. The social services network, they go out targeting families, take the children off them, and then with adults, depending on how old you are, they put you into a mental health institution or into a care home institution. Them courts need to be ripped apart and never be used in society, because that's what they're there for. They're implemented, corrupted, racketeering kangaroo courts for personal persecutions of the local authority hierarchy. That's what the family court protection is all about. And they need to be ripped apart and stopped from operating. Because they're courts that commit perjury, contempt of court, fraud, where the local authorities, the police, the NHS hospitals, medical hospitals, the evil psychiatrists, psychologists, sociologists, behavioural scientists, neuroscientists, social workers, are all conspiring together to do personal persecutions on TIs and their family members. That's what them courts are all about, the family court of protection. Right, now I'm going to show the ultrasound on my apps of what they've been doing to me since Thursday. They ramped it up last week, the 16th. Right, the ultrasound. Well, it is on the duration, you've got to take an hour off. That's down to the designer, programmer who put this app together. Where it says 6:59.08. Yeah, if you take an hour off, it's 5:59.08 for the exact time of how long they had the ultrasound on for. So from 11:22 a.m. to 5:21 p.m. That's how long it's on for on Thursday morning, the 16th. The longitude, and the accuracy, that's where the operators, whether via computerized system or via some operator in the local area where I'm residing at, has turned on the ultrasound at that time and from that location. It varies each day as they're experimenting, training their boys and girls to operate this weaponised radar track and tracing system and emit radiation on TIs. The ultrasound, the infrasound, used for clinical close-up research studies on the human brain, remote neural monitoring, brain-computer interfacing, and collecting more brain waves. I've seen the patents, I've put information out on social media, and more social media links are on my YouTube channel, which I updated in the description of the channel, in the information. And the address is below. So from where they are, 100 metres away, from whoever operated that signal, it's pinging onto the address below. Whether it's digital or Wi-Fi signal, that has to be investigated. But that flat is a flat below me, 122. Again, Thursday evening now. Previously, it stopped at 5:21 p.m. on Thursday evening. And then they had it on at 6:53 p.m. till 9:06 p.m. So 2 hours and 12 minutes. Because you have to take one off for duration. European, maybe using European time, European clock. Europe is 1 hour ahead of the UK. And the level, which I've managed to do screen recording of, it's -12. So they started using really extreme low frequency on me. Because I got fine-tuned after I come back from holiday Africa about 3 weeks ago, just over 3 weeks ago. Location, that's where they turned it on. And the address, I think it's down the side street somewhere, around the back of my flats, where they're pinged to and shooting the radar through, track and tracing me in my property and doing all kinds of illegal, non-consensual research studies and training, all the various manpower in the police, in the NHS, in healthcare, in mental health. That's the authorities. Yeah, it's all in the infrastructure. Or, rogue covert operators have got all kinds of technical sophisticated cameras, equipment to look into people's homes, taking the law into their own hands. But whoever's doing it is getting paid big money by the NHS medical hospitals, getting paid big money by the psychiatrists, sociologists, psychologists, all part of the mental health sectors who are into human behavioural science. And the idiots they employ to try and induce and trap TIs into reactions, that's human behavioural modification programming. And they get big books for it, because it's getting networked, not only in the UK psychiatrists, European psychiatrists, or mental health abusers, and all the sciences, human behavioural scientists, sociologists. It's getting networked to the colleges, to the universities worldwide, after they've cleaned it all up, edited it all up, and tried to make out the studies were consensual and done in the mental health institutions, or if it targets an elderly person, they'll state it was all gotten from an elderly care home institution. And so that's how they cover it up. They make out it's consented and above board. And then Thursday evening to Friday evening, so it's on for 20 odd hours, 21:08 p.m. until 5:21 p.m. And then this one here, nearly over 2 days. (5:23 p.m. on Friday until 12:15 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. So you've got 24 hours plus the 9 hours, 51 minutes. And the signal got turned on quite a few miles away when I went out my property and went around my mother's area to go to a doctor's surgery. That's the address of my doctor's surgery. And the ultrasound was left on over a day. Nearly 40 odd hours. And then Sunday 19th, 12:19 p.m. until 1:58 p.m. Sunday afternoon, where I was around my mother's house. Went down to see her on Sunday. And then it was turned on Monday, 2:30 a.m. until 9:37 a.m. And now, lately, they're kind of alternating but using infrasound a lot. So they've hit me since Thursday with ultrasound radiation. And then in a minute, you'll see the infrasound, which have not been used much over the last few months. They've suddenly used it for a long time, over the last couple of days. I mean, this address here is from 1,000 metres away. So they're experimenting, training on the distance of how far their signals and radiation can be emitted from and how far they can go for around me and my family. This was last night, 6:05 p.m. until 6:25 p.m. 39 Campion Close, 1,000 metres away, around the corner somewhere. And then not long after, just around the corner, side street off where I live, 19 metres away from where they turned the signal on, pinging from. That's down the road, 100 metres 86 Charminster Drive. Late last night. This is going back a few years ago. It's gone back to the beginning, that app has. That's my old property that I lived in. And I lived there for 18 years, and that's when I first got these apps, that's where it all started from. And over the last couple of days, at the top, the level and the threshold, that's been in the minuses. And when I've tried to record it, it suddenly jumps to the positive, where it is now. The level. Decibels per level. Infrasound. Alternates between various hertz. So just showing here some high readings, high frequencies in hertz. Yeah, that says I had it on for 4 hours. Not often believes infrasound on for many hours. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, seconds here and there. So because they've blasted us with ultrasound since Thursday, they've now turned their attentions on to infrasound. So they're trying to damage my human anatomy and trying to damage my external organs. And then think they can conspire with the NHS healthcare. And that's why I'm exposing it. Because as you heard from the question at the beginning, what I asked the great patriot, Dr. Robert Duncan, how do we stop these evil training, experimenting operators from sharing data networking to the local NHS healthcare targeting network? And that's how, in my opinion, that needs to be stopped. And TR's opinions. And most of the world's opinions. Because they're training their government servants and local criminals around TIs. And then their network to the targeting psychiatrists, targeting sociologists, human behavioural scientists who work in the mental health system, the adult care home system. So they're allowing these barbaric operators to radiate TIs and their family members and then cover it all up by making out they're concerned, conspiring with the local authorities' healthcare system. Disgusting. No, it's stated for a long time. And plenty of experts, doctors, professors, government servants know about it. They're going out trying to create customers and patients for the local sectors and for the local hospitals. There you go, frequency 205.8. Monday morning, 4:48 a.m. until 7:18 a.m. while I was sleeping. The duration seems okay. 3 hours. No, it says take off one, sorry. But yeah, it's 2.5 hours. I can see it's normally on a lot of times, 30 minutes, 20 odd minutes, but since they've blasted me with radiation since Thursday, on a couple of occasions they've left it on for a long time. As well as that one. 2.5 hours with a high frequency. This one's got high frequency. And we're testing the ranges out. That's a high frequency for infrasound. That's going to cause damage to human anatomy and to the external organs. Something you can't hear. But your organs, your human anatomy, your bones, it's going to make them vibrate and cause damage to them. I'm there for 4 hours. The frequency is really high. High or low, anyway, the infrasound, the ultrasound, they're causing damage to human anatomy, to your limbs, to your eyes, to your brains, and to your external organs, sorry. And so that's why us TIs are exposing the powers that be who have weaponised the public area, the local infrastructure, into their targeting hunting playground for social engineering experiments via OTT use of 24-hour, 365 days a year, Big Brother, CCTV, overt and covert psyops, all for radiating warfare. And they're targeting more in these times than ever before in history, due to police, medical, NHS, public healthcare and mental health management abuses conspiring together to implement a targeting system in their local authority, and due to advancements of surveillance monitoring technological systems enabling them to track and trace via the radar radiating system, which enables operators, overt and covert psyops teams to surround TIs, properties and everywhere in public they go to be experimented on. And then with psyops, jabs, wireless body area networks, remote neural monitoring, brain-computer interfacing, directed energy weapons, and via all the radiation to try and induce symptoms, illnesses, injuries, disabilities to the human anatomy of a TI, to the internal organs, and damage to the brains. So everyone should realise that these inhumane targeting crimes have to be stopped, and all participating need to be brought to justice for the good of mankind, the good of humanity. And there needs to be major investigations worldwide, let alone here in Coventry and in the UK, Europe, but worldwide. Because I said, they've put it's all in the infrastructure. They've weaponised the infrastructure in the modern countries that have got 5G and advanced technical sophisticated knowledge. So everyone, take care. I'll leave it at that for the time being.